Good afternoon, welcome to Vanik-Ias, and we will discuss current affairs of 18th April. First is related to fourth annual Indo-USA take care. गोटे 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 भूल भाल कौन टाइम भूल भाल देखते कि आनुआल इंडो-यूएसए कौन आसला Good afternoon, welcome to Vanik-Ias, and let's discuss current affairs of 18th April. First topic is East Asia Summit, right? Recently, India and Singapore organized East Asia Summit workshop on illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. East Asia Summit workshop on illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. Food Agency, co-chaired by India and Singapore Food Agency. So, especially on fishing, East Asia Summit was conducted between India and Singapore. That too virtually. Illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing. The IUU fishing activities violate both national and international fishing regulations. That is, unreported IUU means illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing that violates international and national fishing regulations. Illegal fishing refers to fishing activities conducted in the contravention of applicable laws and regulations, including those rules adopted at the regional and international level. Right? Illegal fishing means international level and national level. There are various laws so far as fishing is concerned. There are some national laws based on your territorial water, and there are some international water. So there are, for example, Indian fishermen, they cannot enter into fishing, enter into the Sri Lankan water for fishing. So that is violation of international law, right? Unreported fishing refers to fishing activities that are not reported or are misreported to relevant authorities in contravention of national laws and regulations, or reporting procedures of a relevant regional fishery management organization. Relevant regional fishery management organization. What is the necessity of a national law? Why there is national law? For sustainable fishing, right? Sustainable fishing means scientific and sustainable fishing, so that marine biodiversity will not be hampered. That's why they are regulated by the national laws. So the unreported fishing, that means the authorities are not reported. Illegal means that is violation of national law and international law, that is illegal fishing. Unregulated fishing, when unregulated fishing happens, what will happen? That will hamper the sustainable fishing in national and international water. So India and East Asia, especially Singapore, they conducted a joint East Asia Summit, and they are focused on IUU, that is illegal, unreported, and illegal, unreported, and unreported fishing. Unregulated fishing occurs in areas for fish stocks for which there are no applicable conservation management measures. Unregulated means there is no applicable conservation management measures. That means they are not conserved. Fishing is such that they are not conserved for future, or we can say that it's unsustainable, or that will lead to decrease in the population of fishes in the marine biodiversity. Where such fishing activities are conducted in a manner inconsistent and state responsibilities for the conservation of living marine resources under international law. Under international law, it is the responsibility of the state to conserve the marine resources, and we should not indulge in such fishing that will hamper the total biodiversity of marine life. Then what are the threats? It is a global problem that threatens ocean ecosystem and sustainable fisheries. Threatens ocean ecosystem. So these international laws and these national laws, one of the primary objective of this international national law is that to conserve the water resources, especially the ocean resources, because it is a major part of our biosphere, right? It is a major part of our earth, right? So, and there is a huge biodiversity, ocean biodiversity, a huge biodiversity, and these all the species of fishes, they are interlinked with the ocean biodiversity. Their number of fishes are very high. So that should not threaten the ocean ecosystem, and that is regulated by international law and national law. It is also threatens economic security and national resources that are critical to global food security, and that is critical threatens economic security and national resources that are critical to global food security. It puts a law-abiding fishermen and seafood producers at a disadvantage. Excessive fishing in a particular area that lead to decrease of fishing in that particular area, right? Excessive fishing that should be stopped. Excessive fishing that lead to threatens the economic security, because if today excessive we are fishing in a particular area, then fishes will be abolished. The new fishes will not be production, and there will be no production of new fishes. So that will hamper the economic security of the fishermen. Also, it will hamper the natural resources, and ultimately that will hamper the global food security, because ultimately the total production is getting reduced. You will be dependent on other countries, so that will lead to a crisis. It puts law-abiding fishermen and seafood producers disadvantage. Also, those people who are avoiding fishermen, for example, some fishermen are obeying the laws of sea, and other fishermen are not obeying. So what is happened? This is like a moral hazard. Like those people who are obeying, they are suffering the crisis because some people are not obeying the law. So it puts law-abiding fishermen and seafood producers at a disadvantage. So those who are respecting this, their livelihood will be lost, because some people has misutilized or they exercise overfishing in a particular area. Economic losses due to IUU, difficult to quantity. The inherent nature of illegal, unregulated fishing makes it difficult to accurately quantify the full global economic impacts of resulting from these activities. This makes difficult to accurately quantify the full global economic impacts, right? When it is very difficult to calculate what is the exactly global impacts of this illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, right? So although this is so that's why it need to be conserved, and the challenges is that we cannot say that how much fishing is how much fishing is not in the line of conservation of marine biodiversity, or how much fishing or excessive fishing will lead to economic degradation. Various studies over the years have assessed regional levels of IUU fishing and estimated global losses, but such estimates are based on data that are now many years old. So the data regarding IUU fishing, that is unreported, unregulated fishing, such data are very old. So that is one of the major challenge. So it is very difficult to calculate what is the exact amount of losses and how much fishing need to be there for sustainable fishing or to conserve marine biodiversity. Next, new methodologies. What are the new methodologies that needed to conserve biodiversity or regarding fishing? United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization (FAO) is currently developing regional IUU estimate methodologies that can be regularly updated. So Food and Agriculture Organization, it is a branch of United Nations Food and Agriculture Organizations. It is developing regional IUU estimated methodologies that can be regularly updated. So if that will be updated, so it will help the various countries or the states to manage their territorial resources so far as fishing is concerned, and they will regulate the fishing so that marine biodiversity will conserve, and that will also strengthen the rural economy, strengthen the fishing economy or the fisherman communities. Everybody economical productivity will not reduce at a particular time. Implementing even action plan recommendations will help gauge the actual level of activity and impact so that they may be appropriately addressed. Actual level of activity that will be calculated and the impacts. So they will know that how much fishing is sustainable and how much fishing is unsustainable. They will know all these data, and accordingly they will work, or accordingly they will engage in fishing. What is the origin of about East Asia Summit? The concept of East Asia grouping was first promoted in 1991 by Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir bin Mohamad. 1991 East Asia Summit. It was first promoted by Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir bin Mohamad. Important for prelims. Established in 2005 in the Indo-Pacific Premier Forum for Strategic Dialogue. It is established in 2005. It is the Indo-Pacific Premier Forum for Strategic Dialogue. Promoting peace, stability and economic prosperity in East Asia. The objective is to promote peace, stability and economic prosperity as far as East Asia is concerned. East Asia is important for India because of our northeastern India, and also we have traditional business links, we have cultural links with East Asia, and also there is literal countries there. So far as peace in the South China Sea and Indo-Pacific is concerned, the role of East Asia is very important. Also some of the countries like Singapore, and we are receiving a huge amount of FDI from Singapore, huge amount of investment from Singapore, and also we can learn the practice of ASEAN. We can learn the practice of ASEAN and we can implement it in the SAARC, because ASEAN is regarded as one of the very, formal and perfect organization, because they have a huge number of achievements that can be also learned from the Asian countries or from the East Asia. Also there are huge number of marine resources and other resources which we can explore based on, there is also we can develop from trades. We can develop a relationship and we can earn various foreign dollars by trade, right? So promoting peace, stability and economic prosperity in the East Asia region. That is the objective of East Asia Summit. Next, different from rest. It is the only leader from the which is that all key partners meet to discuss political, security and economic challenges facing the Indo-Pacific, right? All the partners meet to discuss political, security and economic challenges facing in the Indo-Pacific region. Indo-Pacific region, it is the most important region at present time. US is increasingly focusing on Indo-Pacific region, and they are having starting the Malabar exercise, or especially the Quad, that is between India, Japan, Australia and USA. So this is the most important region because we have witnessed Chinese aggression in the South China Sea. So basically on that, this is very strategic point. So this is the only East Asia Summit is the only ASEAN is the only leader forum at which all the key partners meet and discuss political, security and economic challenges facing the Indo-Pacific. Membership: apart from 10 ASEAN association, 10 member states, East Asia Summit includes India, China, Japan, Republic of Korea, Australia, New Zealand, United States and Russia. So all the major countries, India, China, Japan, Korea, Australia, New Zealand, United States and Russia, and the 10 ASEAN members, they all constitute East Asia Summit. Leader: ASEAN leads the forum and the chair position rotates between ASEAN member states annually. ASEAN leads the forum, but the chair position rotates between ASEAN members. India is one of the founding members of East Asia Summit that was established in 2005, right, based on the Malaysian Prime Minister. Okay, so members are from various who will chair, that is the members of Asian countries: India, China, Japan, Republic of Korea, Australia, New Zealand and United States. Okay, so primarily it will focus on the issues regarding Indo-Pacific. What is the priority areas of ASEAN East Asia Summit? There are 6 priority areas of regional cooperation in the framework of East Asia Summit. One is environment and energy, that is especially developing the renewable energy and environment, because they are littoral countries and they may face they will face the problem of sea level rising. Education, finance, global health issues, pandemic disease, natural disaster management and ASEAN connectivity. These are the 6 priority areas in which East Asia Summit will focus. Significance of East Asia: important nations. The nations of East Asia consist of nations Greater China. Greater China consists of Chinese mainland, Hong Kong, Macau, Taiwan, Japan, Mongolia, North Korea and South Korea, right, up to Taiwan, that is Greater China, and also Japan, Mongolia, North Korea and South Korea. They are the important nations. So in the eastern region of Asia. Economic benefit: it represents nearly 50% of the world's population and 20% of global trade. 50% of world population, because there is India, there is China and there is United States. So 50% of world's population and 20% of global trade, comprising of 16 nations that are dynamic path in economic development, right? Nations like India, nations like China, nations like USA, they especially shape the global politics or global world order, right? So there is economic benefit. So by developing the cooperation, economic benefit for each country will increase because they will cooperate with mutually convergence areas. So these are the areas in which East Asia Summit will focus. Then Rongali Bihu. What is Rongali Bihu? Rongali Bihu is also known as Bohag, is observed in the mid-April and marks the start of Hindu calendar's Assam New Year. In Assamese New Year, it marks the start of Hindu calendar, that is Rongali Bihu festival, that is in Assamese New Year. What is Rongali Bihu? The word Bihu is taken from the Sanskrit, and Vishnu meaning to ask blessings and prosperity from the gods during the harvesting season. Right, during the harvesting season from the world, that is Sanskrit from Bihu. Bihu means blessings and prosperity from gods. That is during the harvesting season. That is the meaning of Bihu. Bohag or Rongali Bihu is one of the Assam's 3 Bihus, and it is one of the most significant festivals of Assamese community. Bohag or Rongali Bihu, it is one of the significant festival of Assamese community. Bihu in Assam is one of the 3 types: Rongali Bihu, Magh Bihu, and Maghar Domahi. Rongali Bihu, Magh Bihu, and Maghar Domahi. These are the 3 types of Bihus in Assam. It falls second week of April every year, marking the beginning of the harvest period. So, second week of April, that is beginning of the harvest period. It celebrates the commencement of harvesting season, and it is also regarded as the first day of Assamese New Year. It is regarded as first day of Assamese New Year, that is Rongali Bihu. Second week of April, harvesting season. It commences the commencement of harvesting season. Then, significance of this festival is purely agricultural in nature. It is celebrated with great enthusiasm and joy throughout the state. That is Assam's harvest festival, which marks the beginning of the Assamese New Year. The Bihu is all about partying and donning out new outfits, ringing the new year with song, dancing, cultural performance. Hundreds of people turn out to enjoy the cultural events. So this is one of the Rongali Bihu. It is the starting of Hindu calendar New Year in Assam, in the Assam, and they starts harvesting. Right, especially it is a very important cultural festival, start in the second week of April. Prevention of Cruelty Act, Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960. Just a second. The government has recognized that Prevention of Cruelty Act 1960 must be amended to introduce more stringent penalties, because at present time we have seen various cruelty towards animals. So this Prevention of Cruelty towards Animals Act 1960 need to be amended. That is what government has recognized. The prevention, because it is this is because it's already more than 70 years. Then this need to be amended. The Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act 1960 was authored by acclaimed dancer and animal lover Rukmini Devi Arundale. Rukmini Devi Arundale, he was authored the 1960 Prevention of Cruelty Act. This act aims to prevent the infliction of unnecessary pain and suffering to animals, and for that purpose to amend law relating to the prevention of cruelty to animals. As per the provisions of this law, the Government of India formed the Animal Welfare Board of India. Animal Welfare Board of India, this was formed by Government of India according to the Prevention of Cruelty Act, Animals Act 1960, which was framed by Rukmini Devi Arundale. The act defines animals as necessary living creatures other than the humans, as any living creature can be called as an animal. It also discussed different forms of cruelty, exceptions and killing or suffering of animal in case of cruelty has been committed against it, so as to relieve it from further suffering. So relieving the further suffering, that is important, so that we have to discuss different forms of cruelty and what are the exceptions. The exceptions are also discussed. This also provides guidelines related to experimentation on animals for scientific purposes. For scientific purposes, it allows experimentation of animals for the scientific purposes. It provides the guidelines relating to exhibition of the performing animals and offences committed against the performing animals. Exhibition of the performing animals. Guidelines relating to exhibition of performing animals, that means for example in a circus, suppose elephants are projected, so with respect to that exhibition of performing animals, that will be, it has provided guidelines with respect to that. Offences committed against the performing animals. Offences committed against the performing animals. What are the offences that are committed against the performing animals? That are also discussed in the Prevention of Cruelty Act 1960, and that will lead to formation of Animal Welfare Board of India, and this was framed by Rukmini Devi Arundale, right? Okay. The Act provides for the limitation period of 3 months beyond which no prosecution shall lie for any offence under this Act. Limitation of 3 months beyond which no prosecution. So, if there is any cruelty, that should be reported within 3 months of the cruelty. Not more than that, right? The prevention of cruelty to animals is a state subject. Remember, it's a state subject. That means prevention of cruelty to animals, it is the law related to it will be made by the any concerned state, because that is mentioned in the 7th schedule of the Constitution, right? State list or state subject means it is a subject on which only state government can make law in normal circumstances. The data is in this regard is not maintained in the central government. There is no data so far as prevention of cruelty in the central government. It is a state subject. However, Animal Welfare Board of India is regularly getting information on the cruelty to animals, for which AWBI is writing to the state government on local authorities to take necessary actions as per the prevailing laws. So, AWBI, it is writing to the local authorities for the punishment if they get reported regarding animal cruelty. So, it is a state subject. So, this acts provide another important feature is that this provide limitation period of 3 months beyond which no prosecution shall lie for any offences under this act. Then, so it is a state subject, not a union subject. It's a state subject. Then, CALM system. The army has issued request for information (RFI) for anti-armor loiter munition for the mechanized forces, which can be used by the enemy tanks and other targets in the plains sand deserts of western India, as well as in the high altitude areas of the northern borders, including Ladakh. Request of information for anti-armor loiter munition. Okay, a canister launched anti-armor loiter munition CAM system. Anti-armor loiter munition CAM system, it has launched, is a preloaded canister with loiter munition and drone, which once fired can remain aloft for a period of time over an area of operation until a target is sighted, which can then be guided down to destroy the target with explosive payload what it carries. That is CAM system, anti-armor loiter munition. That means it will stay in the air. Which once fired, it can remain aloft for a period of time over the area of operation. In a particular area of operation, it will stay, it will observe, and it will identify the target, and then it will blast. Usually, loiter munitions carry camera that is nose mounted and which can be used by the operator to see the area of operation and close targets. Area of operation, that means suppose you want to target a particular window of a particular, for example, in a particular house. Suppose in a particular area there are 4 houses, and in one house you want to bomb, then there will be CAM will be remain over that area, and you will see, it will observe those areas. You will identify the village at which or the house at which you want to blast your bomb, then you will use it. That is CAM system. Usually loiter munitions carry camera that nose mounted. That is CAM system. That means if you want to, in a particular area, if you want to identify a small area, then you want to destroy that area, then CAM system can be used. Army RFI. Recently, Army issued RFI for a CAM system. Army has specified that it intends to procure 150 such systems, which will be launched from the BMP infantry fighting vehicles in the mechanized infantry that are especially modified for this purpose. These systems are being procured under the Make in India and Atmanirbhar Bharat program. So, in the Atmanirbhar Bharat program, such type of CAM systems are getting procured, right? And it has issued around one, it has intended to procure 150 such calm system. What is the need for equipment? It will be used for along the country's western border, that is especially near the LAC. In the north and the northern high altitude up to areas 5,000 meters. Northern high altitudes like that is near your Oxygen area, northern high altitude up to 5,000 meters. In the plains and deserts, the system should be able to operate in a temperature range of 0 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius, while at high altitudes it should be able to operate between minus 15 degrees Celsius to 40 degrees Celsius. That is minus 15 degrees Celsius to minus 40 degrees Celsius. This should be limit in the high altitude areas, that is especially in the Himalayas. They will be employed by the mechanized infantry units with the army for surveillance beyond the line of sight target. Beyond the line of sight, especially beyond the LAC, they will surveillance. If there is any development by the enemy, then they will destroy those developments. This beyond the visual range engagement of enemy armored fighting vehicles and other ground-based weapons platforms over extended ranges. Engagement army fighting vehicles and other ground-based weapons platforms or extended ranges, it will see and it will surveillance some particular areas. For example, in the western areas there is frequent drug trafficking, right? And some people are engaged in those areas. So identifying them and what they are doing, that is especially for border management, this CAMP system is very important. That will be used in the left, in the near the India and Pakistan border, also at the northern region. Next, use in combat. CAMP system is seen in the Armenia-Azerbaijan conflict last year, where Azerbaijan forces made the extensive use of Israeli system to wreak havoc in Armenian tanks, radar system and communication hubs and other military targets. Top-down attack capability of the latter munition has a major advantage against targets such as tanks, which are vulnerable to weak armor protection on the top. Right, especially for attacking the tanks. Right, suppose in a particular area there are tanks. So what will happen? This CAMP system will come, it will observe from over the sky, and it will attack a particular tank, and that will destroy that tank. It is usually used by the Israelis. It is used by the Azerbaijan forces, right? Then color blindness. The Supreme Court has directed, next topic is regarding color blindness. The Supreme Court has directed the Film and Television Institute of India not to exclude candidates suffering from color blindness from its filmmaking. Not to exclude candidates suffering from, has directed the Film and Television Institute of India, FTII, Film and Television Institute of India, not to exclude candidates suffering from color blindness and from its filmmaking and editing courses, and asked it to make changes to its curriculum. Right. So color blindness people, they need to include this. The court agreed with an expert committee's conclusion that color grading module of the editing course has no relevance or nexus with the role of a film editor. So it has came to conclusion that it has no relevance or nexus with the role of a film editor. That is not so. If anybody is color blinded, it has color blindness, they can be also film editor. Condition: the color blindness is an inability to distinguish between certain colors, usually greens and reds. Distinguish between certain colors like usually green and reds, sometimes the blues. The two types of cells in retina detect light, the rods which distinguish between light and dark, the cones that detect color. So these rods distinguish between light and dark, and the cones that detects the color, right? That is regarding color blindness, and generally distinguishes reds, green and red, and sometimes blue becomes difficult because of color blindness. Three types of cones see color, that is three types of cones see color: red, green, blue, and our brain use the information to perceive the color. Color blindness can be result of absence of one or more of these cone cells. That means if a particular cone is not identifying blue, then you cannot distinguish, or a particular cone is not identifying red, then also you cannot distinguish. So if any absence of any cone, that will be that color, you are suffering from color blindness. Mildly colorblind people often see colors properly when the light is good. Others cannot tell one color apart from other, no matter how good light is. So those are mildly colorblind. They can at bright light they can distinguish the colors, other cannot distinguish. In the most severe but rare cases, everything appears to as a shade of grey. In the most severe cases of color blindness, everything appears as a shade of grey. So another thing is that these are usually life on. The condition remains roughly the same as long as the individual life alive. As long as the individual stay alive, there is color blindness. It cannot be cured. So generally it cannot be cured. It cannot as be treated as reversed, but it can be corrected to some extent by wearing spherical contact lens or color filter glasses. Spherical contact lens. Remember, spherical contact lens or color filter glasses, they can be used to certain extent, to correct it to certain extent of the color blindness. That can be to certain extent it can be corrected. That is special contact lens or color filter glasses. Right. Most colorblind people are born with a condition, but some can develop it later in the life. So some people are born, but some people are not born. So each of these statements are important, and they are important for prelims. Congenital color vision deficiencies are usually passed or genetical. This is also genetical disorder, right? Color vision that arises later in the life could result of disease, trauma, and ingested toxins that may happen after certain period of life. Prevalence. Incidence of higher among men. Among men, the color blindness is more as compared to women. That is one of the important point. Every 10th male is estimated to have some form of color deficiency. Every 10th male is estimated to have some form of color deficiency. In the FTIA case, the expert committee report estimated 8% of male population in India and less than 1% of female population have red and green color deficiency, being the most common form of color blindness. Red and green color deficiency. Around 8% of male population and 1% in female population, they have color deficiency, especially red and green color. So this much is the prevalence of color blindness. Evaluate the performance of Pradhan Mantri Sahaj Bijli Har Ghar Yojana, the Saubhagya Yojana. Why Saubhagya Yojana is launched? It is because Saubhagya Yojana is launched in 2017 under Saubhagya free electricity connections to all households. Remember, Saubhagya Yojana is launched for all households, that is APL and poor families in rural areas, and poor families in urban areas will be provided. Rural Electrification Corporation REC has been designated the nodal agency. Remember, REC is designated as the nodal agency for Saubhagya Yojana. It has aims to give 100% electrification to every household, not to villages. Earlier what was happening? Deen Dayal Upadhyaya Gramin Vidyut Karan Yojana, especially in that scheme, there are some villages were declared that this is a village which is electrified. Electrified village means 10% of families if 10% of families of a particular village are electrified, then a village was considered as electrified village. But so far as your Saubhagya Yojana is concerned, it says that majorly it says that not these 10% of families, every household to be provided every household to be provided electricity, right? That is household electricity connection. So the performance evaluation, around 2.2 crore willing households have been electrified. A survey was conducted through them for farming of number of unelectrified houses. Sankhya, a web portal mobile app, was specifically developed for this survey for real time. Sankhya app. What is Sankhya app? Sankhya app, it is especially focusing on the Sankhya app. It basically focus on the number of unelectrified villages or electrification, real time information regarding electrification. Mobile app is special developed for the survey of real time analysis and formulating a prudent strategy. This is Saubhagya scheme, right? Then you will write this answer in your own by researching. Then next we will discuss the objective questions. The first Persian newspaper, Mirat-ul-Akbar, was started by Raja Ram Mohan Rai, who was started Atmiya Sabha, Brahmo Sabha in 1828, Atmiya Sabha in 1814. He has written Raja Ram Mohan Rai. He was abolished sati. His efforts led to abolition of sati in 1829. Also, he was written Gift to Monotheists. Right? These are the books. He was very pioneer. He was a pioneer of journalism. Persian, Greek, Indian, Bengali. He was publishing various magazines. Right? Then, with reference to Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan (RGSA), consider the following statements. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Yojana. Yes, it is a centrally sponsored scheme. That is, the amount is shared between the states and the center. Right? It is proposed to develop Panchayat Raj system across the India and rural areas. Yes, it is proposed to develop Panchayat Raj system across India and rural areas. It will develop Panchayat Raj system. That is Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan. It includes institution of rural local government in non-part part 9 areas, part IX areas. Institution, it will include institution of rural local governments in non-part IX areas where panchayats do not exist. Right? There also this Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Abhiyan will work. So all the three statements here are right. So 1, 2, 3 are the right answer. Rashtriya Gram Swaraj Yojana, centrally sponsored scheme, and developed for development of Panchayat Raj, include also non-part IX local areas. With reference to Oxfam report, fast crisis then catastrophe, consider the following statement. Estimates are based on the projections by not our World Economic Forum, it is by Oxfam itself. The World Bank defines extreme poverty as living on less than 1.9 per day. So two options is only right. $1.9 per day, that is estimation of poverty by World Bank. Oxfam report especially it calculates the inequality. Right? So two option is the right option, first is wrong. Then next question. Sorry. Okay, what are the priority areas of cooperation of East Asia Summit? Environment and energy, education, finance, natural disaster management, pandemic diseases. So far as what are the priority of areas, application, causes, whenever you see such type of options, then usually most of them are right. East Asia Summit, that is between India and East Asia, members are 16 members countries. All these types, all these are priority areas, that is finance, education. Recently that has East Asia Summit happened virtually with Singapore and India and other Asian countries. Pandemic diseases, so all the options are right. So far the priority areas of cooperation of East Asia Summit is concerned. The next question is, recently Lipulek, Lymphedema and Kalapani or the news as zones of complete. Lymphedema, it is the Lymphedema, here it is Lymphedema, right? Here it is Lipulekla and here it is Kalapani. This is the area of Bhutan, right? Bhutan, area of Nepal, there are distributed area. So that is especially Nepal. In Nepal, Lymphedema it comes fast from left, then comes Kalapani from left to right. Third will be Lipulek. Right? They may ask in the map. Please go through the map. Then consider the following statements about colorblindness. Colorblindness is inability to distinguish between reds and colors only. No, it is not green and reds. Majorly it is green and reds, but this is not only, not blue is also included. When it becomes severe, then everything shows as grey. Colorblindness can be developed later in life. Yes, it can. Whenever you see the word can, then see which are not correct. So this is not correct. So this statement is also right. Question is not correct, so this is right. It is not correct. But this can be developed later in the life. No, this is usually yes. Which of the following is not correct? This is correct answer. So this is correct. We will not calculate it. It is a correct answer. Right? This is a correct answer. This is a wrong answer, but this is a correct answer. So it is wrong, and the statements it can be reversed to some extent by wearing spherical, not reversed. It cannot be reversed. So this is also wrong. So what are the options that are not correct? 1 and 3 are not correct. It cannot be reversed, but to certain extent we can develop it by wearing spherical contact lenses or color glass lenses. This cannot be reversed. So 1 and 3 options are the not correct. So here the lecture ends, and like this video, share this video, subscribe to Vanik-Ias Academy. Thank you.